Well, folks, he's done it again. Donald J. Trump, the man who needs no introduction but constantly gives one anyway, is back in the White House. And just like that time you accidentally microwaved fish for lunch, the whole country's wondering, what's this going to smell like? Specifically, what's his second act going to do to America's wallet, particularly that of the ever-squeezed middle class? Buckle up, buttercups, because we're diving into the economic mosh pit that is Trump's 2024. Now, we all know Trump loves a good deal, especially when it involves his name in giant, glowing letters. But when it comes to the economy, his definition of deal can be, let's just say, open to interpretation. Think of it like that free timeshare you won in a raffle. Sounds great at first until you realize the processing fee costs more than your car. So, as Trump dusts off the resolute desk, hopefully with something stronger than those tiny little napkins he favors, let's break down exactly what his economic vision means for those of us who don't have a gold-plated toilet to cry in. First up, tax cuts. Trump's a big believer in keeping more money in people's pockets, mostly because he assumes those people are also billionaires who'll invite him to lavish parties on their yachts. His plan involves slashing taxes for businesses and individuals, which sounds great on paper, like finding a $20 bill in your old jeans, but much like that 20, it probably won't last long. See, the government needs money to, actually run the country. So these tax cuts could lead to cuts in essential services or, cue dramatic music, a ballooning national debt. Then there's trade. Trump's a big fan of America First, which often translates to everyone else get in the back of the line and pay extra. His tariffs on goods from China and other countries are meant to protect American jobs, but they can also drive up prices for consumers. So while you might see more American-made washing machines, don't be surprised if that new appliance costs you an arm and a leg and maybe a spin cycle. It's like going to a buffet and being told you can only eat the soggy salad bar. But hey, at least it's domestic soggy salad. So where does the middle class fit into all of this? Well, imagine you're at a fancy restaurant, but instead of a menu, you get a roulette wheel. Spin it and see what you get. Maybe you'll be one of the lucky few who get a tax break big enough to notice. Or maybe you'll end up with a plate of higher prices and stagnant wages. Trump claims his policies will lead to a booming economy with more jobs and higher wages. And maybe they will for some people. But for many middle-class families, the benefits might be outweighed by the rising cost of healthcare, education, and housing. It's like getting a raise, but then finding out your rent just doubled and your kid needs braces. Suddenly, that extra cash doesn't seem so exciting. Now, it's not all doom and gloom. Some industries might benefit from Trump's policies, like manufacturing and energy. And hey, maybe those tax cuts will trickle down to the middle class eventually, like a slow leak in a pipe that you can't quite be bothered to fix. But the reality is Trump's economic vision is a bit of a gamble, and like any good casino owner, he's not the one taking the biggest risk. The middle class, on the other hand, are the ones holding their breath, hoping they don't get dealt a losing hand. So what can you do? Well, for starters, pay attention, read up on the policies, understand how they might affect you, and don't be afraid to speak up. Because in this game of economic poker, the middle class can't afford to fold.